As Russia and Ukraine continue arguing over gas shipments, European countries are calling for the gas flow to be restored after enduring a week of freezing weather without Russian gas. In a meeting with his Bulgarian and Slovakian counterparts, Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin said Russia is doing its best to resume gas supplies to Europe that flow through Ukraine's pipelines. Putin blamed Ukraine for stopping the transit.
What matters is that we opened the tap and are ready to supply gas. But on the Ukrainian side, the tap is closed and no gas is being transported. No transit country has a right to abuse its transit situation and speculate on it to take European customers hostage.
For its part, Kiev is blaming Moscow, saying Russia has provided so little gas there is not enough pressure in the pipelines to pump it. Yulia Tymoshenko, Ukrainian Prime Minister.
Ukraine did not halt Russian gas transit to Europe. This was done unilaterally by the Russian Federation. And as soon as Russia resumes gas supplies for the European Union, Ukraine without a doubt will fulfill transit.
Russia has insisted its dispute with Ukraine is nothing more than about prices. It wants Ukraine to pay $450 for 1,000 cubic meters of gas this year, more than double the price than last year. Ukraine, which is struggling through an economic crisis, says it cannot afford that. Similar supply interruptions of gas first occurred in January 2006, when price disagreements were not settled on time. Some analysts in Moscow say the conflict is not just about money. Yevgeny Volk heads the Moscow office of the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank based in Washington.
I believe that the gas conflict between Russia and Ukraine, which received very strong international repercussions, is not just an economic or financial crisis. It's a deep political crisis which reflects the difference of interests between Russia and Ukraine, and in a larger context between Russia and Europe in general.
Russia shut off Ukraine's domestic supply on January 1st and then gas supplies to Europe a week later. It did so after accusing Kiev of stealing gas meant for other European customers, a claim Ukraine denied. 18 countries across Europe have been hit by the shutdown of Russian gas. And with hundreds of thousands of people left without heat in the middle of the winter, the Russia-EU relationship is undergoing a chill as well.
It certainly provoked great damage to the negotiations between Russia and the European Union of the so-called strategic partnership. Last year, after the conflict between Georgia and Russia, these negotiations were suspended and they were resumed after almost half a year with great difficulties. And now I believe once again these negotiations are jeopardized by Russian position in this conflict with Ukraine.
And with Moscow insisting that gas is flowing from Russia to Ukraine for export, and Kiev saying it is technically unable to pass it on to its neighbors, negotiations between the two former Soviet allies may have reached a dead end. Anya Ardayeva for VOA News, Moscow.